Hello everyone, and welcome to one of my new series about some of the games I play. Ideas from Baru. Welcome to State of the Game. Alright, so many of you have seen me play some games on this channel, but a majority of these, because they are often the most updated, are going to be about the multiplayer games, like Elder Scrolls Online, World of Warcraft, Dead by Daylight, in this case Dead by Daylight for today. Well, let's get into Dead by Daylight. So far as I've been playing, Dead by Daylight has been getting better and better. And it has not been without its ups and downs and ground floor level downs. And today, I would like to talk about, killer goals. And their ups and downs and ground floor level downs. So let's get started with this briefing, and then we'll get into the meat of it. So what we're going to talk about is pipping, camping, counters, survive with friends groups, and each of these will have a segment in the description to skip to. Okay, first, pipping. Okay, for the people who are new to Dead by Daylight, a pip is one of these two hickeys up here. In the old system, it was 8,000 for a safety, 10,000 roughly for a pip, and 24 for 2 pips. Now for the new system, as we see there, right there, for hooking a survivor you gain 1, and another if the stage increases to a maximum of 4. 3 for hooking, 1 for death. There are other modifiers, but that's not really important as they are for disconnects and disconnects only. Here's how games usually end. You kill no survivors or 1 survivor, and you get a maximum of 7 points, minus 1 pip, as you need 8 for safety and 9 for a pip. You kill 2 survivors, either gain no pip or 1 pip, depending on how many others you hook to a maximum of 10 points, 0 or 1 pip. You kill all survivors for a total of 16 points, 2 pips. Now you're thinking, oh, that sounds easy to understand and balanced. But here's where you were wrong. This may be a good system from the ranks 20 to 12, but after that the survivor starts entering SWF groups, Survive with Friends. But we'll talk about that later. For now, at high ranks there are 3 possibilities, but it goes something like this. You down 1 survivor, you lose a pip. You down all of them, you gain 2 pips. Someone disconnects before the game, you gain 1 pip. As it disconnects in the lobby, only gains 2 points, not 4. As higher ranks, there is no in between. It's either all or nothing, unless there's a disconnection while loading in lobby. Hey, I'm over here now. Many people fear that this patch has increased the amount of killers camping, and honestly, I'm seeing less camping, and here's why I think that is. Sure, getting 2 survivors killed guaranteed per match by camping can stabilize your rank. It doesn't boost your rank at all, and a lot of new players are really good at running and juking, just not good at stealth, which is what gets them cut 90.9% of the time. The other 9.1% of the time, they seem to just give up or get sandbagged by the other survivors. Those poor, poor souls. So yes, the first survivor gets caught. Blam, blam! 2 generators are done. And the third is almost done. So it takes 120 seconds to go from initial hook to dead. And it only takes about 1 minute to a minute and a half, which is less than the surviving party. Usually there will always be a survivor hanging around, waiting for a save, but only for a few seconds, so the first 2 will pop, and the third will be almost done. When the survivor is sent to the entity, the killer hunts again, and BLAM! The third one goes off, and he runs to that one, chasing the survivor for a bit to be juked and hopefully pop the 4th one. And the survivor gets caught and camped. After about a minute, BAM! The generators are done. It's time for you to leave. You still have about a minute to open the gate, and BLAM! You're there at the exit gate. And you all leave. Killer gains no pips, but loses none. Forever ranked 20. That's kind of the gist of why I think there are fewer campers, as it's sure nice to secure your pip, but at low ranks, you're not going anywhere. Eventually they learn, hey, I'm not getting anything from this, and they start to play more aggressive. Yes, this does mean, though, that the ranks from 20 to 17 are going to be full of campers. Still, as those are where all the trolls and newbies are, after those ranks 16 to 1, you will no longer see them due to the new killer goals, as it is impossible to get to those ranks now just by camping, especially when borrowed time is fixed. Wow, that was a long segment. Next! This was not going to be as long as just a few tips on how to counter the killer goals for both sides. First off, let me tell you that I am aware of the bugs in the game right now. That being said, borrowed time. It's a great perk, so when the bug gets fixed, the killer will most likely lose that second survivor as the hooks are being fixed so that you can unhook from all the sides. So even if they face camp, it won't help. For the people who are getting tunneled, these perks are great. Quick and Quiet, Iron Will. First, Quick and Quiet. Great perk. For juking and running away, and for getting away in total, as there is a map with a locker, run in a circle twice and get out of sight, and then while there's red marks still there, hop, blam, hop in the locker, and with a mix of the next perk, Iron Will, one of the most needed perks for juking and countering, camping killers. Iron Will coupled with Quick and Quiet will almost always allow you to escape the killer while in a chase, as they will not know where you went, especially if you use it correctly. Correctly as in running past the locker then turning around back into it, as it will look like you ran past it. It doesn't always work, but a majority of the time you'll always get away. And lastly, talking about Will Make It here. With a total time of 2 seconds to heal someone right after a hook, you can pretty much heal someone in front of the killer. And I'll leave an example in the description of what I mean by that. Thanks to Not Queen for this, and myself. Thanks, Not Queen. And now for the killers. Brutal Strength, even on the nurse. This shortens the length of time on pallet loops, so you can catch those sons of bitches a lot faster, coupled with Enduring. Smack, bam, a pallet hits you in the noggin. I'll brush it off because it didn't hurt. That's Enduring. With Brutal Strength, you can eat pallets all day, just like cereal and those nasty survivors. And this one is optional in my personal opinion. Survivors, please do not take offense. But Iron Grasp with agitation, as you don't want to be carrying a survivor for long, but you also need them hooked without them escaping from your grasp. These two perks will make sure that they are always hooked for that delicious point. And don't camp. Bad, Tom. Bad. I see you, Tom. Bad. Next, the cancer that is Survive with Friends, not high ranks. Once you get to the ranks of about 12 to 1, you will notice survivors will spawn in together. These jerkwads are teams of people on Discord or Skype that will almost always abuse any possible exploit and will always paddle loop. This is why my counters are designed against looping. And this is always why at higher rank, you will either lose a pip or gain 2. Friends don't like to leave friends for dead, and will either always come for a save or do generators. No in between. They will always usually have a brand new part, which means if you halter even for a second, 4 gens will go on in less than 2 minutes, and you'll have to try to either slug them all so no one can heal, or save or take defeat like a man. But yes, Survive with Friends groups are the main reason I cannot stand this new update, as they will either all dive the hook or gen rush the living crap out of you. So, state of the game. Currently, Dead by Daylight state of the game is actually higher than before. The game has very little bugs at the moment, and the ones that are there are not that bad, and will be fixed momentarily. The rank system for killers is a bit harsh, but possible, and really judges the killer's ability to kill, and not just how much blood points they can grind. As if you are a camper, there is no ways you are getting to rank 1 in this new system. So now the state of the game is 87%. Could be better. Some things need to be adjusted, fixed and renewed, such as Wraith, please buff. But that is all the time we have now. Thanks for watching. State of the game.